everybody. This is the Brodega podcast, episode 9.
Yeah, almost double digits.
Yeah, hey, look at that.
We almost have a 10-year-old.
We haven't been canceled yet. Yeah. We're about to enter middle school, dude.
Yeah.
He is Tommy. I am Cole.
What's up, guys?
And today we're going to be talking about hobbies and our top 5 favorite Marvel movies that aren't Avengers movies.
Oh, a little challenge in there.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like.
Well, it's like a give me.
Well, yeah. We all know number one's Endgame.
Yeah.
I watched it again this week.
The
The moment that Captain America, fucking hammer goes,
gives me fucking chills still.
goosebumps,
Yeah.
dude. And then also when everything comes through the portal
Mm-hmm.
and he just like, and you know it's coming.
Finally, yeah.
And they've never said it once.
Yep.
And he doesn't even say it. He said just Avengers
Yep.
assemble. And I'm like, oh.
So perfect, dude.
Yeah,
It
so-
was legit so perfect.
So it was too easy to make a list like that. So we nixed Avengers movies, but look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about our beers.
Oh yeah.
So both of us kind of had a long week.
Yeah.
It's funny. You're like, hey, let's start a podcast, and we want to commit to this,
Yeah.
and we have people that commit to us and watch it every week, and there's a little disconnect. So we didn't bring a liquor this week,
Yeah.
but both of us brought beer.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna do a 2-beer episode.
Nice.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. So I'll drink your beer. You drink my beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the last week of October.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
So I went with a nice Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Nice. Dude, I literally went to the store. I was like, I had to get something October. Like, it's October,
Yeah.
something Oktoberfest. I went to 3 stores and could not find anything in October. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, isn't this like the beer month?
The beer month. All right, so I went with the Atlanta Brewing Company. Another local beer.
I'm excited to try this.
Yeah, it's a Pilsner. It's called Homestand. They started in 93. The cool thing I liked about it, too, is like, it's, I like animals and everything. We talked about this, but, they do paper 6-pack holders instead of the plastic ones.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you brought this in, I was like, I've actually never heard of this company,
Mm-hmm.
which is, like, I feel like I've done all the local companies around here. When you said that, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess I have not.
Yep. Oh, yeah, dude.
Let's do this. Oh, sorry. Hi!
A great episode.
Episode 9, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good Pilsner.
It's not bad. It's I tried it when because Kroger, they have those walls of beer,
Yeah.
and you can like build your own 6-pack.
I love those.
Yeah, I think it's like it's like the best way I compare it is like a kid like going to like a candy store, dude, or something like that, or like someone's like shopping for like
Yeah.
a girl picking up makeup, you know what I mean, something like that,
Or
and it's
like-
oh, put in my 6-pack.
What it reminds me of, kind of like you said, I don't like camping, but when I used to go camping with
Mhm.
friends when I was a kid, there was this campground, and they had like a shop.
Yeah.
And like you could buy like a Tootsie Roll for a penny,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the small ones.
Yep.
So like sometimes I'm like, I have $2. What do I do with this $2? I'm gonna get a Twix. I'm gonna get this. I kind of feel like that with the beer. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I haven't had this.
Yeah.
It's a perfect way to try something because I hate committing. And it's like, well, they
Yeah.
only come in 12 packs. And what
Yep.
if I don't like it?
Yeah, and the same thing with me. Like, I'll drink it. I'm like, well, here goes 6 beers I hate. And you just gotta chug them.
Like, was it Not Your Father's root beer, which is
Yeah.
not bad. I can have one of them.
Yeah.
I like them. And then I tried their Not Your Father's Mountain Drink, which is Mountain Dew. And I was like, I don't want to buy 6 Mountain Dew flavored beers, but I'm curious.
Mhm. Yeah, my girl actually really liked those Not Your Father ones. I was like, damn, I tried it too, and it was just too sweet for
It's
me.
very sweet. I can have like one.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a cool concept, and they're pretty smart too, because like you can just get whatever in there, but you have to kind of make it like make it worth its price, because it's like $10 for like a 6-pack. And I was like, okay, well I'm gonna get beers I know are expensive.
I'll tell you, I had one of those before coming over here.
Mhm.
And you know what it reminded me of is like when we first started hanging out.
Yeah.
We are like basic ass white dudes, and we're like, yo, what are we drinking? Either Shock Top or Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Like we drank nothing but Belgian wheat beer. And then
That-
we'd wake up the next day like, I feel like shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, we had like 4 loaves of bread.
Yeah. That, and then I remember we switched for a long time over to Yingling.
Yeah, I still love you.
Nice.
It's my cheap beer of choice.
Yeah, we went to that one. And yeah, that's like all we were drinking for a long time. Like my quantity of beer is definitely Miller Lite.
Yeah. That it's funny about Yingling too, is I think the reason why I was on board with getting so into that was so where I'm from, like in the Midwest, it's funny, the Midwest has trouble getting beer
Mm-hmm.
and like we're the last ones to get it. For instance, when Coors Light was a thing,
Yeah.
Midwest one of the last people to get it.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, Coors Light was very popular in the Midwest.
Yeah.
One because everyone's like, "Oh, we can get it now." And everyone's freaking about the like world's shittiest beer.
Yeah.
And then the same thing, my stepdad, him and his friends would it would be like a guys' night, but
Mhm.
like what they would do is they'd be like, "Hey fellas, Thursday night, like they're gonna say we're gonna have a party or something.
Yeah.
Thursday night, they would drive across the border to Ohio
I've heard about this before.
So
I've
they-
heard people do this.
so they can get Yingling.
Yeah.
And then people would show up and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you got Yingling!" And they'd bet like $400 worth of like
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah, I remember we had the guys that were on the West Coast, you know, the guys we work with, and they came here. They flew all the way over here, and then the same thing. They can't get Yingling in the West Coast, so they packed up a whole pallet worth of Yingling and flew
Took
it
it
back.
home.
Yeah. Could you imagine a pallet of beer on the back of a Chinook, dude?
That'd be sick.
That's a cool ass fucking photo.
I mean, yeah, it might be one of the coolest pieces of cargo I've ever hauled.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
But yeah, so it just kind of reminded me. I was like, this reminds me of a more simpler time when I
Yeah.
didn't have responsibilities and bags under my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, speaking of though, like we've been doing this podcast,
Mhm.
and this year is kind of, at least for me, has been like year of hobbies.
Yes. Yeah.
I've kind of gotten into hobbies, but
Yeah. I mean, COVID really helped us really get
Yeah.
to find new shit that we liked.
you, it's a lifestyle. I've learned hanging out with you. Like,
Yeah.
so for people that don't know Tommy, Tommy's like, I'm gonna do this. Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And the next sentence is, I'm gonna master it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because like I've kind of just made this joke the last couple of years. Like Tommy is that guy. He's like the jack of all trades. People say master or none, but I'll say master. Like once he masters it, he's like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Time to find a new hobby. And what I'm going into is you sent me a TikTok
Yeah.
this week that perfectly summed up your personality.
Yeah, dude. When I saw it, I sent it like everybody I know because everybody knows how I am as like, just a hobbyist or whatever. Like, I mean, the podcast, the computer, the gaming computer.
Now you're 3D printing.
Just set up my 3D printer last night, and I know I told you this, and I told a few people. That was the hardest fucking thing I've ever built in my life. I've put car engines together. I've put transmission, like I've done some complicated shit. And I sat here, it took me like 6 hours to put together. And I made the joke earlier that I hurt my knee fucking putting it together. I don't know how I did it.
Old age,
I
baby.
think I'm just getting old. Or twisted it wrong or something. And I was just like, I get up and I go to grab it. I'm like, fuck, why does my knee hurt?
Been down here for 6 hours.
Yeah. But it was really hard to put together. But I showed you earlier, I made that little fucking dog and everything. I was like, oh, this is fucking cool.
Well, what I thought was kind of funny is like meeting you. I know you're very mechanically inclined. Like, we've talked about your car endeavors and all that.
Yeah.
I know all the hobbies you've done and that you've like mastered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was very, very interesting that you were like, I'm gonna learn how to do it and perfect it like
Yeah.
always. But you're like, I'm not gonna lie, this one,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
It legit intimidated me because,
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I do my research before I do anything. You know what I mean? Because when it comes down to it, someone out there has already done it.
yeah,
And they've probably already mastered it type of thing. So you gotta learn from the people who already know. So I was going on and I was like, man, I was like 3D printer assembly or whatever. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that looks hard. And then it was just like leveling the bed. It might take hours or days. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then like one dude was like, yeah, you assembled it. Now you just have to be ready for like disappointment whenever you get like 20 hours into a print and then it fails. And I was like, oh man, dude. But overall, I mean, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a pretty cool thing to do. And I'm really excited to learn how to do it. Really just make whatever I want out of
Yeah.
it.
Well, and like when like it's funny what you said that and everything. The first thing that came to mind is I wanted to make like a boxing photo of like you and then like a 3D printer. With, like this is your Frazier,
Yeah.
you know, Ali versus Frazier.
Yeah.
Because like with Tommy, so like I said, I've seen him go into a lot of these hobbies, right? And like he said, I'm gonna build my own PC, and he was like, no big deal, and I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm kind of like intimidated by that, and then you're like, oh no, I was just like. You buy and sell graphics cards, you're like, oh, it just takes me like 30 minutes if that. You know? And yeah, no big deal. We did this podcast thing, right? And you're like, I'm going to be out of town for like 2 months. Don't worry, I'll have everything down. You come back and you're like, I got all the programs. No big deal. You know? And then this was the one you're like, I was surprised when you're like, you've had it like all week. I'm like, you put it together? He's like, no, it's been sitting on my table.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's good, dude? You're like, harder than you think.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where like I wanted to really do it, but I also was like intimidated by it. So like I was procrastinating. I was like, you know, before I put it together, let me fold my laundry first. Let me go grocery shopping first. Like I was like, you know, if it was anything else, I would have been like, fuck everything else. The only thing that matters right now is me putting this thing together.
And like, I do actually know what you mean there because like, I'm not as tenacious as you when it comes to like picking up a completely new thing. And I'll be honest, this year has been like the year of hobbies for me. So I've kind of felt what you're talking about when you're like, I've never done this and I never thought I would do this.
Yeah.
And now I'm here.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fucking bull in a china shop. I'm in a make-believe world.
Yeah.
I'm the like in a group of superheroes. I'm the big dumb strong guy. I'm actually I'm actually smart, but like if there was an
Don't let 'em
archetype,
fool you.
if there was an archetype, I'm like they're like, Cole, go crush that door.
Cool strong.
Cool smash. You know, that's me. And then like, it was funny. I had my sister in town, right? And I can't believe I'm admitting this because like I'm not talking about this on the podcast. So I'm just gonna get fucking roasted. But I'm gonna send it, bud, because I've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah.
I started painting miniatures.
Yeah.
And
So for those who don't know, can you please explain what miniatures are?
yes. So miniatures are like, so a lot of people know what Dungeons and Dragons is. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons,
Pretty
but
much.
they're just little plastic figures that you customize, you paint your own and everything. And it's like really small. You got to take your time. And as we establish, I'm like, big tree full hard, you know? And my sister comes in and she goes, you didn't paint these. I was like, yes, I did. She's like, there's no fucking way. She's like, I'll put money on it. I was like, I swear to God, I did. And like, she just like looked at my little miniature army that I made, and they're all painted up. And it's funny because I like art class. I don't know how it was in your school, but the art teacher, which is funny that art teachers are pretentious because we all know that's kind of a made up ass job.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm going to put so-and-so's art on the, fucking wall because it's impressive. I never made it on the wall.
Yeah.
I am not artistic.
And
And
some childhood trauma. Your mom never put anything on the fridge.
yeah, it was like, Cole or a sister? That's clear.
Yeah.
No, it's not like, I remember that. Like, our art teacher would post art projects, like, and never, she's like, here's your shit.
I was never the same way either, but I'm kind of learning. Like I'm getting into more like creating things. Like I'm trying to learn how to create NFTs. Like people don't know, it's way fucking elaborate. Pretty much, it's a non-fungible token that you can print something, attach a cryptocurrency into it, and then it's a social media status symbol. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, damn.
So I'm learning how to like create those. Like I got the iPad and everything. I'm gonna start drawing some shit, and
The
you know,
Brodega NFT.
that's exactly what I was gonna do.
Boom.
Yeah, but it requires attaching like a cryptocurrency to
Yeah.
it, Ethereum at that, and it's $4,000 for a coin. So it's like,
Jesus.
oof. But yeah, just talking about like I forgot to mention the whole TikTok thing, but it's
Yeah.
just it's a
So-
it's a dude running through the house, and he's just like, you say it better, dude. Like
All
I
right.
can't wait.
So it go and I don't know if you're gonna pull up. I want to give the guy credit if we
Yeah.
can, but he sends me this TikTok, and it goes like this. I'm gonna back away from the microphone
Yeah.
a little bit because that's the best way I can do it. But he's like, "I'm off to start a new hobby. Let's go start the hobby. I've done all the research. Time to start the hobby. I bought all the supplies. I've mastered the hobby. Now I'm done with the hobby. Time to start a new hobby. My house is full of unfinished projects." That's Tommy in a nutshell.
Yeah. And the funny thing, you're just like, well, at least you finish everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh, dude, this is so me, so fucking
Oh,
perfect.
to a T.
Yeah.
And but like what I'll say on a respectful way is like I know a lot of people have start shit, never finish it.
Yeah.
You always do. And the other thing about it is you like one of your best qualities, you're a hustler.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like
Yeah.
you're the way you think is you're like, I'm gonna do this. How can I capitalize
Yeah.
on this thing? And somehow you always find a way to capitalize. Like we've talked about, you're buying and trading on marketplace. You always make a profit.
Yeah. I mean, that's just more than anything. It's just finding the right deal because everybody has something, and it's, you know, if it's one off, then it's going to be expensive, of course. But I'm just saying, like, typically the thing I'm doing is not one off type of thing. So if one guy doesn't have it, the next one does. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of being patient and finding the right deal. And yeah, that's my thing. Like, if I get to something and I find out I don't like it, I know I can at least sell it for what I got it for, or if not more.
Yeah. And
And that's why I have to like. I'm very patient though. That's one thing about me too.
in baseball terms, like you're batting 363. You know what I mean? Like you're like you go up to the plate, you're the hobby plate, and people are like, oh, Tommy's up to bat.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching because something's probably gonna happen. That's good.
Yeah.
So like that's the one thing is you're always like, how can I? Like I promise you, right? We're talking about 3D printing. Give him like a month. It'll be like I've already made my money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing too. Yeah. I'm gonna create things with it and sell shit on Etsy. So look for the Brodega Etsy page here soon.
Well, and I don't know if you want to air it out now. If you want to show that sign real quick.
What is it? Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what we're thinking about doing is 3D printing. It's kind of hard to see there. 3D printing Brodega signs.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. There's gonna be some things in the work.
Yeah.
Like we say, we're definitely gonna pay back our day ones. So be paired. Like we're gonna have some things in the work.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about a little about, showing that love. So be on the lookout for those. And yeah, so
Yeah, but so we're doing the miniature thing. You're doing the miniature thing, and we go this was this Friday, right?
yeah.
We went to the hobby shop, dude.
So
And
can I stop you real quick?
yeah.
So I like throughout the day I have mental bets with myself, just like I'm like odds are this is gonna happen, and we were waiting because they didn't open till noon. We were waiting for the shop to open, and I had a mental bet with myself because I was like, Tommy is gonna say something about how stereotypical this place is.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear it till right before the episode, but I was like, there's another one in the books. You know what I mean? Like, I was right. Please continue with your story.
But yeah, so we go to the hobby shop, and the whole time, dude, you're like, hey, like, you know, because I was like, you know, all week you didn't bring lunch, and then finally on Friday I bring lunch. I was like, did you bring lunch? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, well, fuck, dude. Like, all week you don't bring lunch. And finally I was like, I'm not bringing lunch on Friday. So then we're like, let's go to the hobby shop. And I was like, he's like, do you mind taking me to the hobby shop? You know, I was like, yeah, you know, not a big deal. And I was like, then we'll stop on the way back. And he's like, all right. So we go there. and it doesn't open and anything. And like, the whole time, like, one thing about you, you're always like super appreciative whenever someone does something for you. Like, thanks
Yeah.
for the ride, thanks for the ride. I was like, it's all good, dude. Like, we're just. I was like, yeah, whatever. He's like, like, do you want to stay here? You want to come inside? I was like, I'm going inside. Like, I'm definitely
Get
going.
something out of this.
Yeah, I'm definitely going inside. And so you go over and you're checking all the paints. They had a shitload of fucking paints, for your miniatures and everything. And I'm just cruising along, dude. And I'm going there. They have like Pokemon cards and everything like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm scanning everything to see if it's a good deal, to see if I can resell it. Like, I'm like, scanning everything. Dude's looking at me. I'm like, boop. And but I'm sitting there, and then like we were the first two guys in there.
Yeah.
So because we were waiting for it to open, and no shit, like the first dude walks in, taller black guy, definitely kind of like nothing like wasn't wrong with him. He kind of looked a little off. You know what I mean?
Those are I know you're talking about. Those are like I found there's like middle-aged dudes that'll come in there where they're like, I need something to kill some time, and they pick up hobbies.
Yeah.
So that's that demographic of dude.
Yeah. So this dude was into magic
Yeah.
cards, and like bigger dude, like, you know what I mean, like shirt stretched,
Yeah.
like, he's a big dude, you know what I mean, and like I'm not judging people, I'm just calling it how I see it. Like, I'm just like, okay,
Like people, all right, people listening right now know, like, if they walk into a hobby shop, they kind of like think that's what Tommy's getting at.
yeah,
We're not shitting on anybody. I'm the one that said, like, I put together plastic miniatures and fucking paint them. Okay,
Yeah.
like,
I walked in there, and then like the first day I walk in was exactly the guy you think that would be walking into a hobby shop, and I was like, all right. So I was cruising around, and on they have like a showcase, like where the front desk is, and it's clear, like you've been there, but like and they have like all these like awesome magic cards, like the ones that like are in the back.
the nice ass ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we don't want people to steal these.
Yeah. And dude is just like, he's on all fours. His shirt is like halfway up his back, ass crack hanging out, and he is just like drooling over these cards. And I was like, I get it, man. Like,
Yeah.
like, that's his thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, I get it. But he's sitting there, he's like, oh yeah, this princess of the forest is so fucking hot, dude. I'm just like,
I didn't hear that.
you dude, yeah. And then the dude that worked at the front counter, he seemed like a normal dude, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's like, yeah, dude, that's a fucking killer card. Like, they're both going back and forth. Like, this
Yeah,
dude's this dude's a grown ass man on all fours looking at these cards, and he's just drooling over them.
Comment.
Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, man. So I'm still like, looking around, thinking to myself, like, that's exactly what I expected to see. And then
It gets worse.
The next guy walks in. Dude is same thing, really overweight. He had to be albino, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, but dude had no hair.
Yeah.
He had no hair on his head, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. I looked at this guy for a long time, enough to where he looked at me, and I'm still looking at him like, "What's up?" Like, like, and he's walking around and he's talking to himself the whole time. And like, I'm all about an experience, dude. So I'm walking around with him, like I'm like right next to him.
You're eavesdropping on this conversation. Like, what is this dude into?
Yeah, conversations to himself. And he's like, "Oh yeah, the new D&D figures are out, dude." And he's like over there. He's like, "Oh man," like, and like he's just same thing, just drooling over these miniatures. And I'm like, man, dude, I wish I was so invested in something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
These guys are like, they're in it.
so, and like on that, right? So we talked about doing a podcast and everything, and what I realized, in like you have a bunch of hobbies.
Yes.
During COVID, I was like, I have nothing to fucking do.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play it somewhat safe. I have a family, I have a toddler.
Yeah.
I have I got shit to lose.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm also thinking about like, oh, we don't need to be doing going out and all that right now.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I have fucking nothing. Like I have no hobby.
I am so fucking bored.
So that's when I started like researching hobbies and stuff. And so everyone listening is gonna be like, what's the fucking difference? I don't play D&D. I play what's called Warhammer.
Yeah.
And basically it's like there's like 50 different armies you can pick, and it's like nobody in the universe is nice. In this universe is nice. and your main goal is just to murder everyone else.
Yeah. I know you played last night, didn't you?
I did.
Who won?
I did. It was a team event.
Yeah.
But yeah, we barely won, and my guys held it down. But so what I'm getting at is like, yeah, I'm researching the hobby and everything, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot when pandemic slows down.
Yep.
And ironically enough, I met some dudes that we work with that were into it, and they're
You
like,
surprised me, dude. We're a lot of guys who were actually interested in it.
Yeah, and like it was funny. They're like, I was like, "What are you doing?" And the guy I'm talking to, whom I know I've had over for like Thanksgiving and stuff, is like, "What are you doing this weekend?" He's like, "Play Warhammer." I was like, "No way," you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was funny. I was like, I play with these guys. Like, those guys play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's like really under wraps. And what I've come to find out, like this whole hobby shop thing, and just so you guys know that guy with no hair he's talking about, I've seen this dude 3 times, and every different hobby shop I've been in, I've seen this fucking, like, this is what this guy does, right?
Yep.
But what I've noticed about this hobby is everyone's super fucking accepting.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think about it. Like dudes like that walk in.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's funny. I'm the black sheep. I walk in, they're like,
yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. You here to make fun of us?
yeah. You here to make a TikTok about us or something? I'm like, actually, I'm looking for Fenris and Gray paint. You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, that's really awesome. You're getting into the hobby and stuff. And my thing is, I'm very amped up, I'm very high octane, and I've come to find out that it's very therapeutic to sit there and like paint shit, especially when I know I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
And I'll put my AirPods in and I'll just fucking 6 hours like it's like with my glasses on, I'm like, and I'm painting like a shield for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this shield looks so fucking sick. And I look up, I'm like, oh, it's dark out.
Yeah.
But
Where'd
like
the day go?
yeah, I'm like one day I came home from work and I was pissed. I was like, where are my paints? You know? And yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah.
Like doing something I'm not used to doing, doing something I know I'm not good at and getting good at it as in painting.
Yeah.
And then just like, it's a humongous stress reliever.
I gotta imagine, dude. Like, you know, what's really therapeutic for me lately is when I started doing that fucking 3D printing shit. And it's like, hey, this print's gonna be done in 3 hours. And me, 20 minutes later, just sitting there just, wow, this is fucking cool. Like, is this doing this thing?
This is gonna look so sick.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be 100% frank with you. When I finished painting like my first 10 figures, I had to get out of bed because I like forgot something. I walked into my kitchen where my figures were painting. And as I'm walking back into my bedroom, I stood there like this. I was like for like a good 30 seconds admiring my work.
Yeah. I did that. Remember, like, I know exactly what you're talking about. We were sitting here the other day, and I was already kind of drunk. And, you know, like, I'm pretty humble or whatever, you know. So I'm typically humble on the things I have. I'm very blessed for what I have, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not a big religious guy, but I definitely know I am better off than most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were sitting here, and, like, the podcast was doing good. Like, everything was running good. Like, PC was going. The room was looking good. I'm sitting there, like, already kind of drunk and was like, dude, look at this shit, dude. Like,
Life's good.
Life is good, dude. Like, I'm looking around in my room, looking at things I have, just being proud of, like, the things I have, you know? I was like, man, this is fucking awesome, dude. And, like, you know, I know exactly what you mean about just being proud of the things things you've done and things. I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, this is really fucking cool. And it could be anything from a hobby to, you know, a whole room or whatever, or just proud of just what you have. And that's pretty cool, man.
And coming from someone that literally picked up like legitimate hobbies this year, I'll say, like, if there's something you're hesitant about doing, dude, just jump into it. And I'm telling you, there is a Facebook page out there. There is a community.
There's a group.
Yeah, there's a group.
There's a subreddit. There's a Tumblr page about it. Something.
And
people are doing it.
And I promise you, there is a group that is like, hey, I've never done this. And I'm thinking about getting there. Like, welcome to the fold, brother.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought I was gonna get a lot of like kind of like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I kind of did at first, but then they were like, oh, you're like picking this up, and they were like real cool about it. And like, I've had nothing but good interactions so far.
Yeah. I mean, that's typically how it is. You know, people get into different communities and everything and just realize, like, okay, it's not that bad to get into, like, you know, a new thing. But yeah, same thing. Like, dude, like, if Yeah, just like Cole was saying, man. If you're hesitant about starting a new hobby or starting a new like venture or something like that, I mean, the best way to do it is jump in feet first, man.
Yeah.
Just get fully submerged in it. That's what I do. I completely immerse in everything about it, and then I go from there, build and constantly keep building. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys heard that on the mic, but
I definitely heard that. Like, geez, I bet you guys didn't know. We've had a dog in here the whole time.
she's legit just snoring out here.
Zoe.
Okay, she's good. But I'm gonna try one of these ones now. Oh, I already tried one.
Can I have a bottle opener?
Oh
please?
yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah. So speaking of hobbies, we like to play video games. That's one of our definitely one of our a lot of our majority time consuming hobby.
And I'll be honest. The first person shooters we play,
Yeah.
we've already established I'm not good. I only play so I can hang out with my friends.
Yeah. But so season 11 of Apex is coming out tomorrow. And one thing I want to talk about too is why the fuck are we releasing a game on Monday? Like especially a new season. Like when New World came out, it released on a fucking Tuesday. It's like what is going on?
Sorry, but releases month. Yeah, that's weird. The only thing I could think of was like maybe people get paid, but
Yeah.
usually people get paid bi-weekly now.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was like, man, this game released on Monday. But there's a new character. The new character is Ash. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, dude, they're gonna have Ash catch him in there.
I was like, I swear to God, if they don't have a guy that turns his hat backwards, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, but the whole movie trailer was because they always do a trailer whenever they're releasing a new character.
Yeah.
So it's like a sequence of movies or whatever. It's like a movie event. But they're all on this island, which is the new map, and they're all on this island. They're all getting chased by like these spiders and all these fucking monsters and everything like that. And Ash comes out of nowhere and kills like this little dragon thing that's trying to kill everybody, and then she starts killing all the other legends.
Oh
And I
damn.
was like, oh shit.
She's a bad bitch.
Yeah, she's gonna be new to the meta, of course.
Yeah.
But she has like for anybody who plays Apex, they have another character called Wraith. So they're gonna be like interdimensional like warp, like and she also has this like ball you can throw, and I guess when you throw the ball close enough, it's like a grenade that sticks to people, but it sucks them in and keeps them in one location. So it sounds like that's what her actual abilities are gonna be. But she goes through and she's killing everybody with this sword, and you can tell what her heirloom's gonna be. It's gonna be the sword that she has,
Yeah.
and it looks like a I'm not as versed in. I saw Mandalorian, but I'm not as versed in what that was a dark saber.
It's a dark saber. Yes.
It looked exactly like that, but it was a blade instead of a saber.
Okay.
I was like, that's fucking cool. And she's going through, and the only person she doesn't kill is Mirage. You know, the dude that's kind of funny or whatever. And
Yeah.
he's like in the legend, but he kills everybody else. Doesn't kill Mirage. She's like, all right, you're coming with me, and he's like, all right, let's go.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
That one guy, she's like, come with me. He's like, everyone. She's just murdered like thousands of soldiers. He's like, okay.
Yeah. But that comes out on Monday. I'm excited for that. I already have enough Apex coins to get her, so I'm gonna grab her and see what she does.
I'm still gonna either rock Bangalore or I'm gonna rock Pathfinder just because I like his personality. Hold your breath if you have a respiratory system.
Oh man, me and my friends are here to kill you. No, he's like a robot. He's just fucking.
Yeah, he's a robot, but he always has like these like super literal things
Yeah.
he says, and I honestly just play him because he's funny.
Yeah. So we'll see. I hope it's gonna be pretty fun. So going on to the next thing though, you brought up Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Top 5. So let's go one for one. You want to go start at 5?
Yeah, we got to start at 5.
Okay.
So, I'll be honest. I've listened to a couple podcasts where they send around making lists. I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed doing like the football list we did way back.
Yeah.
And I don't want our podcast to be like just doing lists. There's plenty out there, right? But I think it's fun to mix in every once in a while
Oh yeah.
a list. And one is my son. Like I'm a big Star Wars fan. I have 2 tattoos dedicated to him. It was my thing growing up. Is the way I escaped, from reality. And a lot of people are like, "Your kid into Star Wars," and I'm like, actually, no, not fucking at all.
Yeah.
He loves Marvel.
Yeah.
And like every day this week I've came home and he's watching like he's 4. He's watching live action Avengers movies. And he's
Yeah.
like, Dad, look.
Look at this shit.
Yeah. And he's like into it, you know.
Yeah.
I guess some kids are like, it's not animated, fuck this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Let's rank this shit.
Mhm.
Because there's certain ones when he wants to watch the Avengers, I'm like, we can watch this one because that's Dad's favorite.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Thor is definitely the best Avenger. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They intentionally nerf him because everyone knows he would just beat the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
Him or Doctor Strange. But we'll get there. So I was kind of thinking about let's do an Avengers list. And but like obviously when you have all the best superheroes
Yeah.
together, that's going to be a better movie. So and
You think Avengers better than DC or Marvel's better than DC?
so this is what I'll say. Growing up, I was more of a DC fan.
Same here, yep.
Avengers has knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say like Disney and when they bought Marvel.
Fauci brothers, whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They've knocked it out of the park with Marvel, and unfortunately Warner owns DC, and what I've noticed is Disney was like, hey, this is your program.
Yeah.
It's on you.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, right now we have Robert Pattinson fucking playing Batman.
we'll get there.
Mhm.
But Warner Brothers is like, hey, Zack Snyder, you're a fantastic director. Oh yeah, by the way, we want to have say in fucking everything that you do in this movie, even though you're fucking Zack Snyder and you're batting 1,000 in movies.
Yeah.
Like the guy made the Dark Knight movies, and they're like, but we wanna back check your work. That's the problem with DC and Marvel right now is Disney's like, it's on you if this fucks up.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers like, we're not going to let you fuck up, and we're going to change everything. That's why Batman vs Superman was bad. That's a different conversation for a different day. So like I'll say, I'm more of a DC guy. Growing up, I was a big Superman and Shazam fan,
Mm-hmm.
and Shazam used to be Captain Marvel. Another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But Disney has just crushed it with Marvel, and there's not too many movies out there that I'm like, that was bad.
Yeah.
I even just watched the new Black Widow,
Mhm.
and that one got a lot of shit. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
No shit.
But yeah, so I was just kind of thinking about let's do our top 5 Marvel movies. Starting it has what I was kind of thinking is, and if you didn't go this way, it's fine. Is
Mhm.
I went from Captain America, the first Avenger, as being
Yeah.
the first one because I know like we had the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans and all that.
Yeah.
But I went from like Captain America, the first Avenger, which came out in 2009,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up to Endgame.
Yeah.
That was
So you're not putting Iron Man movies in there?
okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Iron Man did technically come. Fun fact: Iron Man's the reason why they started this whole universe
Yeah. Yeah.
because it did so well.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I should say that Iron Man, then all the way up to now.
Okay.
So
What
that's
you got at 5?
so 5. Ironically enough, I went with Iron Man 1.
Yeah. Okay.
For a couple of reasons. Believe it or not, Jon Favreau.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't know, Jon Favreau is the guy that created the Mandalorian, like wrote it.
Yep.
He's also
Happy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's in a lot of stuff, but he said I want to do an Iron Man movie,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, and I want Robert Downey Jr. in it. And for those of you who don't know, Robert Downey Jr. was fucking washed up and
Yeah.
pegged a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
And he, at this point, he was cleaning everything, and they're like, "You're fucking crazy." And again, Disney was like, "It's on you,"
Mm-hmm.
and he crushed it. The funny thing about it wasn't even a big bad villain.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it was like another Iron Man suit. That was the villain.
Yeah.
And usually the
It was
first,
a fucking Taliban.
Yeah.
Fighting against.
and usually the first movie in a superhero universe isn't the best because they got established the character and then
Yeah.
but it was great all the way around, like in the character development of seeing like a narcissistic billionaire
Mm-hmm.
turn into like, I've seen what life is like for people
Yeah.
that don't have $1 billion. And like,
And
even on
it's
top of
shitty out
that,
there.
yeah, even on top of that, just the character development throughout the movie. It was honestly in my opinion, the best introduction movie for a superhero in that whole universe. So I went with Iron Man, and it started the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good too, and I like the end where he's sitting there and he's like just got what the fuck is it called? Like he just got picked back up again. He's not like under control anymore.
Yeah.
And he does the whole press conference and everything. He's like, everybody sit down, sit down, sit down.
He's eating a Whopper.
Yeah, he's sitting there. And he goes, he asks him the question, he goes, I'm Iron Man. And then everybody just like goes nuts and then just fucking closes out. I think that's probably one of the best.
I remember my stepdad took my sister and I to go see that, and I just that was actually kind of revolutionary, believe it or not. Like no one, you don't give away your secret identity. And, and the movie's like, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'm like 12, 13 or something. I'm like, holy shit, you know?
Yeah. So number 5 for me, I'm gonna have to go. Let's see, you sprung this on me right now.
Yeah, I know. Hey, it was a long week, brother.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay new. I'm gonna stay kind of newer. I don't, the original movies, the Iron Mans, the early Spider-Man, stuff like that, they didn't hit me as like the new ones. New movies have. Like I'm not, as drawn to them as I thought I would be. So I'm gonna go the original Captain America, the first Avenger. Just the whole sequence of him becoming Captain America. I think it started off, but I don't think it's enough for it to be as high as I thought.
That's actually my 4.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can talk about that. Yeah. Please use your.
So yeah, I think it's definitely good. It's another thing. It's kind of like an origin. Like it was mostly they always have the movies where it's like mostly information to build up for the next movie.
Yeah, you get background story.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like it would have been great if there's a little more fighting in it. But I think it was pretty good though for what it was. I think it was pretty cool to see everybody, even seeing like Tony Stark's dad on there, like in the beginning of it, like he like was on the whole project. Even like what's his name, Pym, Professor Pym or whatever.
Yeah, from Ant-Man and all that. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's pretty good. But I mean, made my top 5 at least.
Yeah, so it was my 4.
Yeah.
The only reason why I put it ahead of Iron Man, and I think a lot of people might disagree with me there, is we established I'm a history nut. I liked how they played in World War II into it. And that was a thing, was Captain America was kind of made as like a, like
propaganda type of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sorry, my cord got tangled up. But what I loved about it was, like a big thing is superhero movies. I feel like before the Marvel Universe started, it was more like he's a superhero,
Yep.
There's like, what they're about, and Marvel has done a good job at making them people, and developing a character instead of being like, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that's just like he's just a persona, not really an actual person.
And
you know what I mean?
Captain America for me was like the German scientist that is going to do the operation on him.
Yeah,
the whole time he's like, I don't want the best athlete. I want the good guy.
Yeah.
And that CGI they did on Chris Evans, and they make him look like
how skinny he was and everything.
And it was just cool where like they made him a loser, and then I think I resonated with it too, because I'm a nerd at heart. I play Warhammer, but I also like lift weights and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's like he was like, I was the little guy, and I'm never gonna forget about the little guy, and that's what the scientists wanted. And that whole rest of the movie, like, there's again not really a big bad super villain, but he's beating up Nazis, which is Hollywood's go-to when they need a bad guy. Zombie movie, where are the zombies gonna be? Nazi
zombies.
Oh yeah. And it was funny too, like how they worked in the universes after Iron Man. They're like, we're gonna do a universe of this shit, and then he gets frozen, and you're like, oh, oh fuck, like he's in 2009.
Yeah. I think that was pretty good how they added like they gave him depth essentially, like like how are we gonna pause him for 70 years for everybody to catch up with them? Like, oh, we'll throw him a fucking ice cube.
Yeah, and it goes back to that character development where they had the little guy, the scientist, like, don't forget who you were.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I gotta crash this plane for the betterment of everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And so that was my 4. What do you got it for?
4, I'm gonna go. Let's see. Damn, dude. 4. I'm gonna go Black Panther.
Oh, great choice.
Yeah, just one of the best things I like about it too is it was the story starts out in Oakland, which is like you know,
Yeah.
2 cities over from where I grew up and everything like that. So I think it was pretty cool to see, you know, kind of like the Bay Area in a movie, and just kind of also representing like how, like you know how bad Oakland is, at,
Yeah.
you know, some parts. So I definitely want Black Panther for that one.
Well, dude, that's a great choice. So, I that was one of those movies I think I was deployed when that came out or something,
Yeah.
and I got late to watching it, and then I heard all the things. I'm like, I gotta watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've come to find out lately is a lot of people hype shit up, and it kind of will ruin it for me.
Yeah.
The hype was real about that one.
Yeah, the hype was definitely real, and also like you know the culture surrounding it. You know, being the Black Panther. You know,
Yeah.
not only the organization, but just like who he was and stuff like that. Like dudes are showing up in like king outfits and
Yeah.
everything like that, like African king outfits. I
like-
thought that was pretty cool.
Or like how they have just like tribal cloths on,
yeah,
but they're fucking electromagnetic shields. You know what I mean? Like they show up to a battle and they got cloths on, and all of a sudden they lift their cloth
Yep.
and it's a fucking force field.
Yep.
Like it was just cool to mix those two things.
yeah,
Man, I always go to like sometimes when I'm watching movies, like, could you imagine like pitching this idea if you created this? Like, so I want to do African tribes,
mm-hmm.
but they've got like lasers and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that was pretty. Yeah, it was definitely like a mix between the culture and then the actual like technical like futuristic version of it as well.
Yeah. And what you know what's hilarious is that movie is probably like the most quoted my son quotes. Because like I've got him all the action figures, and I'll
Mhm.
have Black Panther, and he'll be like, and he's 4, so he's still got broken English, but he's like, I am not dead. You know, like, and like that's the thing, like when what's his name from Creed?
Oh, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan,
Mhm.
you know, he's like standing, he's like, as you see, I am not dead. And like my 4-year-old quotes that. And yeah, so it was a great movie.
villain too.
And I'm gonna actually throw out a prediction for that one too.
Mhm.
So for those of you who don't see Loki, it's gonna be kind of a spoiler, but this is where Marvel's heading for the next sequence after Thanos is basically multiple dimensions. So for just to break it down, is like, say we're in this dimension. Imagine there's like a dimension where you're like a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
There's like infinite dimensions. All the dimensions have meshed. So
Yeah.
like shit's gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a prediction. A lot of people are predicting that you know, fortunately, I'm forgetting names again. The guy that played Black Panther.
Chadwick
Boseman,
Yeah.
you know, he died, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying that his sister is gonna be the Black Panther. I wouldn't be surprised, and I haven't done any research, and this is a total guess, if like the dimensions mesh
Yeah.
and Michael B. Jordan is like not, because you know he dies at the end.
Yeah.
But it's say he's like more in prison and he becomes the Black Panther and redeems himself.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we'll see, but
Mhm.
they're still rolling with Black Panther 3, so Black Panther 2.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see.
What you got?
3. So this one surprised me out of all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Okay.
I'm a nerd at heart. I know in the nerd world, I know a lot about a little or a little about a lot, right?
Yeah.
I knew nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, me either.
And this is another one I was like, I'm not going to go fucking see that.
Chris Pratt was made
Yeah.
to play that role.
I saw that. I was like, I'm not paying money to see that in theaters.
Mhm.
And this was at a time where I lived next to a theater, and that's what I did every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'll wait till it red boxes. And I was disappointed that I did not go see that in theater. I was so fucking impressed by how good that movie was. Like,
Mhm.
and like sometimes people get annoyed with the comedy. I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy should be deemed a comedy. Like it's hilarious and just the universe it's in.
Yep.
It's just perfect for them to do crazy off the wall shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I loved it. Like it was an origin story, both a lot of action.
Yeah. Yeah, and how the first Infinity Stone, I think, was mentioned in the actual movie. I thought that was pretty cool. And then but yeah, this Chris Pratt was so made for that movie.
Yeah, like when he's doing the whole fucking like they're doing the in processing photos and he's like rolling the fingers like oh and just like they're like what they're like what an asshole
Yeah.
and then I don't get Hollywood sometimes they could have paid me like a 6-pack and $1,000 and I would have said I am Groot 57
Yeah.
times. I don't get how like I feel like when the next Guardian of the Galaxy preview comes out, it should like when they're saying like the characters, it should be like Chris Pratt as Star Lord, and then it should be like Vin Diesel with the easiest money he's ever fucking made. You know, like,
Yeah, I can't believe they paid him to fucking say I'm Groot.
I'm Groot,
Mm-hmm. That's fucking insane. And then Batista, he's in there.
dude. I'm so
Yeah.
happy he's getting love. That made him break out. I love Drax is my favorite one out of all of them. He's a big dumb guy, right?
Yeah.
But I also love how like in the second one, even he's like, "You've been standing." He's like, "I've been standing here a long time." He's like, "If I move incredibly slow, you can't see me." They're like, "We can see you." He's like, "No, you can't. You're eating a nut right now. You can't see this." Like just stuff like that, or like when they say sarcastic stuff, and they're like, "Oh, that one went over your head." He's like, "Impossible. My reflexes are too fast."
I would have caught it.
All in all, man, I was like, "Damn, this is really good," and I didn't make that mistake again. I went and saw Volume 2 in theaters.
Yeah. I think so actually Guardians of the Galaxy is a little bit higher than me for me.
Yeah.
Because I actually really liked 1 and 2. But 3 for me, I'm gonna go with shit. The top 3 are kind of hard. They're kind of like pretty close together. But I'll go with Doctor Strange for number 3.
Okay.
The second one hasn't came out yet.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
excited for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, the first one. And the reason I like it so much because like he was like on top of his game. Like he was
Yeah.
the man. You know what I mean? Like no one could touch him. And then he loses his hands. You know what I mean? Type of thing. And then he's just like, I'm worthless. You know what I mean?
Again, character development.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a fucking prick doctor.
Yeah. And I think just him like going through that whole process of becoming like Doctor Strange, and then how well the thing I don't like about movies sometimes though is the main character. I don't know his fucking name. I know his last.
Or it's Benedict Cumberbatch is
Yeah.
the actor.
Yeah, but
But it's Stephen Strange. Is
yeah,
the,
I know. Like I can never remember his like actual real name.
yeah.
But he he goes to this temple, and every movie does this. Like even like Karate Kid, for
Yeah.
example, like they go there and like this this random guy comes in and masters what these people have been doing for decades.
Yeah.
And he masters it in like a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like he was made for this.
Yeah,
and every other guy's like, dude, I've been doing this shit like 40 years. What the fuck?
Yeah. So I think it's pretty funny, but definitely Doctor Strange 3 for me.
I struggle because Doctor Strange is my second favorite Avenger outside Thor.
Yeah.
I legitimately feel that if there was a Avengers bracket to the death, it would come down to Doctor Strange and Thor.
Okay.
Because like Doctor Strange in the physical realm is not really intimidating as much, right? But the fact that he can throw you into like a never-ending loop of you just falling, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about that movie is when he made that that god or whatever he was, whatever, just quit, and he's like, fine, fuck it.
Yeah, he basically rickrolled a god.
Yeah, he made a rage quit. Like,
Yeah. He like every time like he'd kill him, like never gonna give you up. And that's what I'm getting at is like if he wanted to be a bad guy, he would probably be the most dangerous Avenger. The shit that he can do, but he has he's a conscience and everything. And I'll tell you, Doctor Strange is my second favorite. I left him right out of the top 5 just 'cause there's like implications, but that was a great choice.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Okay.
And believe it or not, that is outside of the Avengers movies, that is the highest rated Avengers movie. It's that one probably has the best action in my opinion.
Yeah. I actually like Bucky as a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just there was a huge mindfuck that like Shield is just full of traitors.
Yeah.
And like this big organization, all of a sudden Captain America's fighting all these people that like he's fought with, they know his secrets and stuff like that. And then just like, again, going back to character development, the fact that he was like, all these people he shared combat with were secretly working behind his back, and he felt betrayed,
Mm-hmm.
and odds are against him.
Who's the bad guy? The dude with the red face. Was he called Red Face?
It's Red Skull.
Red
His name's
Skull.
Red
Yeah.
Skull. Yeah.
Real fucking.
Yeah. Yeah, Captain America was made in like the 50s,
Yeah.
40s, 50s, something like that.
Tried hard on that name.
He was one of the first superheroes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So you got okay. So I like two for me is gonna be Civil War.
Oh, great choice.
Yeah. So I think Civil War was awesome. I just like the fact that like same thing with the whole character development. Like one person was pushing like Tony Stark was pushing for like a blanket. You know what I mean? Like a constant blanket over the earth, and then like fucking Steve Rogers is like that's too dangerous type of thing.
That's
too much
just
power.
not right. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
monitoring everybody.
Yeah, too much power and everything
Yeah.
like that. And I agree with Captain America. I do think he was in the right. And that whole fight between everybody.
At the airport.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
yeah.
dude.
So that was a really good.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So like on those like in the two, so like they're so it's for me it's like so leveled. So like three could have been like multiple threes, and then like twos like I love the Ant-Man series.
I love Ant-Man too.
Like Paul Rudd was perfect for Ant-Man.
This shit was hard, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
that was actually really hard.
I'll be totally honest with you. I forgot about Civil War. That one
Yeah.
should definitely be in the top 5.
Yeah.
And it was hard because though I sided with Steve,
Mm-hmm.
I understood where Tony was coming from.
Yeah, and then the fact that you find out that Bucky killed Tony Stark's parents, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, and that Steve is like protecting Bucky. I was like, oh my god, dude.
That might have the coolest. So, the airport scene was fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
And again, and then they introduce us to the new Spider-Man, and just
Yeah.
like, he's like, I'm Falcon. He's like, oh, we're using our made up names. Or no, that's in Infinity War. But he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he says stuff. He's like, oh, you got a metal arm? That's so cool. He's like a 15-year-old kid, still.
Yep.
And but I think one of the coolest, most memorable pieces in that whole universe is that 3-way fight between Iron Man, Bucky, and Captain America.
Yep.
And where they're just Bucky and Steve are just bouncing the shield off Iron Man
Yeah.
and just fucking him up. It was just
Yep.
so cool. And then like he shoots a laser and they're like bouncing off the shield in their throat. They're just like playing catch with it. And it was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, this is so fucking cool. And again, the bad guy in the movie is a normal fucking dude.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like no superpowers.
Yeah. I think that's pretty awesome.
That's what the magic of the series is like there's really not a big baddie in a
Yeah.
lot of these.
Mhm.
It's
Except until you get to like Thanos, then he's like,
it's good writing.
yes. Yeah. Who you got at one?
One, I'm telling you, dude, I watched this movie a lot, and I didn't, again, I was just like, I want to watch Marvel, and I'm like, Thor Ragnarok, good. That is my favorite one. I fucking love that movie.
So I'm gonna tell you, it's my number one as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dude, everything about that movie I love.
Yeah.
The soundtrack, like the fact that and it's funny. I always like Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think it might be age or something.
hmm
I've been listening to Led Zeppelin straight for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, these guys are fucking legendary.
Yeah.
But that immigrant song by Led Zeppelin that they play throughout the movie it's perfect with the movie. It's borderline comedy and action.
Yeah.
And everything about it is perfect in my opinion. I'm telling you, I think I use this one so much. Like I was saying, I paint miniatures. I looked over at my wife, and I'm like, "Behold, my stuff."
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I love him in that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is. Yeah.
Hela's so powerful. Thor's like, I guess we gotta blow up Asgard.
Yeah.
Even fucking Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
And that just being Jeff Goldblum, and she's like, the slaves have revolted. He's like, what did I tell you about the S word?
Yeah.
He's like, she's like, she says something too, like, what? He's like, she's like, I'm sorry. The unpaid workers have revolted. Just shit like that. And Or like he's like, "What have I told you about Scrapper 452?" That right hand chick he's got is like drunk idiot. He's like, "No." He's like, that doesn't even start with a B. I said 452 was the best. What's wrong with you? You know?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum definitely played an amazing part in that movie, and so many fucking good lines too.
Dude,
Just the
I love Korg.
yeah, when they start to fight, Hulk and Thor start to
Yeah.
fight, and he's like, yeah, like he's like, he's a friend from work.
Yes, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? We know each other." And then like that fight was badass. And then like, or even what are you, Thor, god of hammers?
Yeah.
You know, and like Thor is like, "Oh, I'm actually fucking badass."
Yeah.
And then or even like dude,
The
another line.
get help.
Yeah, get help. Or another line I probably say weekly is like, if I meet someone new, I just like to say awkward things to like lighten the mood. I'll be like, "Hello, my name's Korg. I'm a giant talking rock person. And this is Zoot. He is an insect with knives for hands." I'm telling you, I say that. Anyone new I meet, I say that to now. They're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I think the get help too was fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. And that actually the he's a friend from work line and get help were both improvised in the movie
Yeah.
by Thor. And he's just like, he's like, "Want to do get help?" And he was like, "No, I hate it."
Hate to get help.
Yeah. He throws him at some.
Even then, Valkyrie's badass.
Yeah, dude.
She's
She comes in
fucking
on
aw-
Pegasus or whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
Especially like when she comes, when she shows up for the battle and she's
Mm-hmm.
in her Valkyrie suit and the ship's shooting fireworks off and she's
Yeah.
just fucking walking in slow motion.
Yeah, that's definitely she's badass for that.
Or again, I love Korg. Like, "Hey there, we're starting a revolution. Want to join us?" Or what are you in here for? "Well, I started a revolution. And apparently I didn't print off enough flyers because only my mom and my stepdad showed up. So now I'm here."
Oh, great number one. I definitely. Yeah, that's the best thing about Marvel too. They put a lot of comedy in with the fighting,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably the coolest part.
And sometimes, like every once in a while, I'm like, okay, but they've perfected it.
Yeah,
It's just the right amount.
Yep.
And they borderline comedy and action.
yeah, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I found out, especially recently, I quote Thor Ragnarok so much
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Or like, again, I can go on for hours. They're flying the ship and Banner hits the button. It's my birthday.
he's like, "Oh, that's my party ship. We usually use that for orgies." And he's like, "Don't touch anything."
Yeah, he's like, "What's this do?" "It's my birthday."
Yep.
Apparently, Jeff Goldblum's gonna be in the Love and Thunder and all that's coming. Love and Thunder is stacked, by the way. Google that shit. There's gonna be a lot of people in it, but yeah, Jeff Goldblum's gonna be in it again, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yep. And then this Thor when he gets so that scene when he first like unleashes like the full power from the hammer when he's about to hit the Hulk or whatever. And then in actual like Infinity Wars or whatever when he's got the new
I'm not Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
those two scenes when the thunder and everything finally fully unlocks for him, I think that was fucking
That's
the
what I'm
two
saying,
best two
like-
scenes.
He was the best Avenger, and he hadn't even unlocked his full power.
Yeah.
He thought he was the god of hammers,
Yeah.
you know, and he was still the best Avenger.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that everyone knows it, and in that movie they're like, password, 4, not detected, the best Avenger. And then Banner,
He's Baywatch.
David Banner, welcome, best Avenger.
Yeah. He's like, what's mine? He's just like, Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Yeah.
Or I can tell who you are. Not if I do this. Covers his face with that claw. I can go on for hours about this movie.
That meme was like a pretty funny one
Yeah.
when COVID first happened. He's like, I can't get COVID. And he's like, not if I do like this.
You can get COVID. Not if I do this.
Oh man, that's
Oh, the Lord of Thunder. That's great. We're gonna use that. Oh, the thing he did with those sparkly fingers.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum was made for that character, dude. It was he did everything about that perfectly. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, so hit the movies hard. Let's talk about sports and wrap it up. So we have what Braves. They won last night.
They won last night.
Yeah.
They did.
Everybody in Atlanta's riding already.
Good for them. I kind of it's funny. I think I root against the Dodgers more than I do the Yankees lately.
Yeah,
Even though I forgot Albert Pujols was on that team.
the Dodgers team.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I really want to see Pujols
Win
win
one.
a
Yeah.
World Series.
That's why he went to the Dodgers.
He's
He's
done
trying to
it.
get one before you get
He's done it the right way his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he's been around all those steroid users and all that, and not once have you heard anything bad about Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah, same thing. I was glad Atlanta won because
Yeah.
Dodgers beat my Giants.
Yeah.
To get into. So, yeah. So it's Braves, Houston. One thing we can probably expect from Houston is they're going to be stealing calls again.
Or heckled for doing it.
Yeah.
What I'll say about Houston is, and I know a lot of people are still holding grudges, they brought in the best guy to replace their manager in Dusty Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty Baker is that guy who's been coaching for like 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
I don't think he's won a series ever. I might be wrong.
I have to Google. I don't know off
But-
the top of my head.
He is that guy. He's like, I'd rather lose and do it the right way
Yeah.
than win and do it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, I know he inherited a great team and all that, but I'm telling you, like, if I was the Astros manager, Dusty Baker is the choice. Like, he's like, I'm by the book. We'll do shit the right way. So, in the sense, I'm kind of like good for Dusty.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to see the Braves beat the shit out of them.
Yeah. I agree. So we'll see. I mean, I probably won't be watching it, honestly. I'll just look up the score every day. So, with that, that's it.
I got one more thing
Oh,
to
yeah,
say.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got one more thing to say, and Bubba, I know you're watching. I know you're watching. And Ric Flair's Nature Boys, the famous fantasy football team that I'm sure everyone around the world has heard.
Sure.
We added a new franchise this year, and it was your brother Bubba, and he decided to name his franchise Cole, S-U-X. Didn't even spell it right. Sucks Wiener. And last week we played each other as I stated. And I just want to let everybody know whom I know was checking ESPN for the score, and ESPN didn't show it because they fucking blackballed me. I just want to let all the listeners know that I beat his fucking ass. And you know what, Bubba? Your team might be Cole Sucks Wiener, but you sucked Cole Wiener last week. And hey, all the credit to Randy and my team. I know they went out there and did that for me. I know there was a big speech in the locker room about it. The fact that he disrespected me like that. And,
The funniest thing is you guys already had a feud going.
yeah.
We talked about it already. You guys had a feud going from Warzone and then also from the fireworks thing years ago.
Yep.
A constant feud.
That's more your brother Andrew. Fuck him too. Fuck you, Andrew.
And then just to be invited to our work league, and then the first thing that comes off said is, "I'm naming my team Cole Sucks Wieners." It was. That's like movie comedy, dude.
Yeah.
That was so on par. Just
It's funny. We invited him, and I didn't expect it, and I should have expected nothing less.
yeah.
And it felt so sweet to beat him down.
Play one more time, right?
No,
That's it.
because he's not in our division. You play
Oh,
everybody in your division twice, but it felt
Mhm.
good. And we'll see. I think I'm gonna. I said I was gonna lose 3 games. I went 0-3. I'd like to note that I'm 3-3 now. I can't lose another game, or I lose my prediction, right?
Yep.
My team's really putting it together. Dangerous.
I got a 4 dudes in IR right now, so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, dude. And I just looked at your score too. Patrick Mahomes put up 7 points.
Oof.
That's another conversation for another day. But I think it's funny we deem a guy the greatest all time after 4 years in the fucking NFL, and he is not having the best season.
Oh wow! Surprise,
Yeah.
surprise.
But yeah, I just wanted to give that shout out.
Yeah. Good shout out.
Typically I say fuck Dan, but this week I think in fashion, fuck you, Bubba. So now we can wrap it up.
Yeah. ended on a high note.
Yeah.
All right, man. So that's it for this week. Pretty good. I loved it.
Hey, thanks again for watching. Shout out. We have a bunch of statistics and matrix that we can look at on our YouTube and Anchor,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that we kind of know the demographic and the people that are consistently watching. So thank you again. Feel free to tell a friend, share us, spread the word.
Yep.
And I got an idea for our day ones as well. I know we keep talking about that. So look, I'm gonna air it out. Stickers, 3D printed signs are coming, and the people that showed us a lot of love, you'll definitely be seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
I have another idea in the works, and I'm thinking around the new year we're gonna implement it. So I just want to. I got something in the works.
Okay.
So, but yeah, be on the lookout. We're going to do those. And as always, thanks again for watching. Thanks for the support. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Peace out, guys.